Hey Sag, this is Path of Enlightenment Tarot. Welcome back. If you guys are new, welcome to the channel. If not, thanks for returning. Finally getting into some monthly readings. It's been a hot minute, guys. And Sag, I kind of bailed on you for a while and I apologize. Business, work, life, kids, sickness, birthdays. It's been October was a month times 2, right? So, pardon the mess. Real life right here, right? Don't even need to play it off. So this is going to be for Sagittarius for the month of November. Let's see what's happening in your energies right now. Bear with the raspy voice. It's a little worse than usual due to allergies and sinuses. Guys, I am available for personal readings on a limited basis. So that information is available in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. Daily Collective did go out today, trying to get back into the swing of things, right? So after my hiatus. So this is going to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Cross watchers, if this is for you, welcome as well. Roll or reverse the roles as it applies. You know your story better specifically than I do. This is not a one-on-one reading, so be discerning of the messages. Take what is yours, leave the rest behind, right? All right, I think that covers it all. So let's see what's happening. All right, Spirit, Cosmic Flower, Root Chakra, Sag. Are we trying to find our balance? Are we trying to find our stability? That's kind of how that comes across. And instantly I got this massive chill going up my left side. Cosmic Flower gaining emergence. I feel like you're trying to step into something new. Maybe trying to take a different approach to things than you have in the past. Trying to switch things up. Allowance. You got to be open. You got to be open. I feel like you are in a space where maybe you've been very closed off, narrow-minded, not willing to make a whole lot of movement in the past, maybe allowing things to kind of flow as they do. For some of you, that's one story. The other side of it, I feel like some of you are kind of tiptoeing around things that need to be addressed. Spirit's bringing that message in intuitively to me. Do not repeat old patterns. If something's being asked to change, boundaries are being set, pay attention to that, please. Please. Dynamic. That card popped up this morning in the Daily Collective reading as well. So I remember specifically saying it was like a 3-part thing for me of what I was getting. Kind of the same idea. Fertility, the Empress came out this morning. So we're going to grab you 2 cards from the Sacred Geometry deck. Some Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle. And then we're going to dive into a more in-depth reading for you guys. So for Sag, for the month of November, make sure you're not boxing things into a specific way. Is how this is kind of coming across. I feel like there's a shift. It almost kind of reminds me of the wheel is trying to make some shift, trying to make some kind of change for you. But you're maybe in a space right now where it's time to think outside of the box of your normal way of thinking. I'll read this card to you here in a second. It's the Fertility card. What? Yeah. I feel like you got some stubborn energy going on. Cosmic Flower came out. I've seen that, 2 or 3 times on the split, so I'm going to take all 3 of these. Root and Heart Chakra underlying. So I'm going to read these and then we'll go from there. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. I like that card for you guys, but I'm going to say this as I'm reading that and as the energy I was getting from before, I do feel like you're starting to venture out into different things that maybe you haven't done in a while, if ever before, trying to catch a new perspective on different aspects of life. But the thing to this for me is very much, it's like letting go of the past, but not healing the past. That's a big thing. We know in this journey, and you've got 9 here, maybe too hard to work on that. Like you're almost to that 10, but I feel like I said earlier, something to the effect of like skipping steps or something like that, trying to tiptoe around something. That to me is holding you back from that total 10. That total, whether it's 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, bringing something to a happy completion and an ending, or if you've got to lick your wounds and you know, sit with some sorrows to get past a certain point, I feel like there's a step that you're missing. You cannot sidestep what's being asked of you to do, because as much as you move forward and you ascend into a different space and time, those unhealed parts will come back up at a later time. Pay attention to that. The cosmic flower, the frequency of the cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificent out into the world. And I'm going to say to you this, sometimes home, I feel like some of you maybe being called home, in the sense of maybe moving, maybe returning somewhere, doing something, to that effect, going back. There's this nostalgia feeling that I get with these three cards of moving forward, but yet there's something lingering from the past. This could be a return of an old love. This can be a return of certain aspects that you're remembering from the past, or a time when you were younger and calling, that was a call home essentially in some way. It's a very unique message I'm getting. Soul time, 40, fours to me, foundation, celebration, marriage, the reminder of our four pillars that complete, or can't even talk, begin to make, without those four walls, those four pillars imposed around our home, we don't have a structure, right? So our foundations. Soul time, the frequency of soul time asks us to allow possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that with the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. And I feel like there is an awakening happening for some of you. Like I said, I feel like there's this need to move forward. You may be discovering new things about yourself in the spirit realm, that kind of thing in the spiritual aspect. But you've got to be willing to do the work in between to get to a state of completion, is how that comes across to me. So messages are coming in real hot and heavy today. All right, so let's see. And then you've got that 4 is the heart chakra again. Foundation, stability, maybe trying to build some new foundations, starting things over from scratch. It's how it comes through to me. For some of you, there's a need. Sorry, guys. Okay. There's a need to be out in nature right now, soaking it in. I want to say settling that fire energy. There's a lot of green here, a lot of green. So let's see. High Priestess of Earth, that I say grounding energy, right? There's that earth energy in chaos. Chaos, trying to avoid a conflictual moment, perhaps, trying to stay grounded through the changes that are happening. You may feel like you're lacking in control right now. Let's see, Spirit, one card for Sag for November. Honesty, playful. There's a need to express your true desires here. 44, again, 4s are very, very significant in this reading. 4, 4, 4, 4. There are also 9s, and then we've got the 8, that infinite cycle, right? Time to be, a couple things. Time to be honest about what you're doing, what drives you, what fires you up. You are a fire sign, right? Paying attention to that energy. Same time though, if you may be dealing with somebody more so than this is you, or vice versa. Again, apply the roles as it fits for you. But I feel like somebody may be coming off with some passive aggressive truths. So pay attention to, if you're saying something and trying to express something at this time, just say what you mean. Say what you feel. Don't come across in a passive aggressive manner. Just address how you're feeling. There doesn't need to be hostilities involved. There doesn't need to be a coy way of saying it. Hey, I love you. Hey, you upset me. Hey, whatever it might be. Rather than, and this is 8-8 also. If this is what's happening, address it from a space of the heart and honesty. Very, very important concepts, I think, for this reading for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that's how it's coming across. So if it's you or another, pay attention. 8-8, you guys got repeating numbers. All right, Sag, let's see. We're almost to your season. You have birthday month coming up here soon. Yay. hanging out in Scorpio season right now. All right, let's see what comes up for you guys. So where are you standing at this time, Sag? I really do think you're trying some new things, trying to do things in a different way. I need more room on this table. You know, kind of shooting off in hope that something will be different. Your focus is trying to get yourself balanced and grounded, like I talked about a little bit ago. I need to temper some energies. You're going to have to learn how to work better with people. It's not just your way or the highway, or you may be dealing with somebody who's in that kind of energy. It's learning how to incorporate and work with people around you as well. What you need to know right now is paying attention to the direction that you're heading, what you're closing, what you're beginning. A 10, I always stick to those 10s in the sense of it's a closing and a new beginning. I do believe that you've created, like you've paved the path to get to where you are at this point. Now it's time to start to build onto something new. The obstacle for the month of November that you're dealing with, Sag. Let's see. Second chakra, sacral chakra, our desires, our emotions. Again, if we're feeling something, letting that fire burn within us and not addressing it in an honest space can create hostilities and kind of sabotage where you're heading. Your strength at this time. Yet it's learning how to work with others, and yet your strength is working with other people. It's funny. I feel like you can do that when you want to, and there's times you choose not to. You may be picking and choosing the people that you're working with at this time. The outcome for this month is time to rest and rejuvenate. Again, I feel like you're going to go back to patterns. I really do, and I hate to say that, but I'm here to help you, not cut you down or hinder you in any way. I feel like if you don't find this balance, if you don't find the will to address what needs to be addressed the way that it appropriately needs to be addressed, you may be cutting people off. People may be cutting you off. You may be in this stalemate kind of energy. You may be picking and choosing the people you choose to talk to. Make sure you're not avoiding people simply because you don't want to have to make a decision somehow. That stands out to me very, very in my face. You've got quite a few card of endings here, and yet we end that on another 8. So 888, 4s and 8s are very important for you right now. All right, let's do some clarifying. Goddess of the Moon. I feel like you're afraid you're going to get swept away in your emotions right now too. Like, I feel like there is an emotional pull for you it's taking you into this new way. Like something about whatever's going on in your life right now does feel good. You feel the shift occurring. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know that you're trusting it. You're so used to doing things on your terms, your way. And it's kind of like, I almost feel like for some of you, you feel like you may be being taken advantage of. There we go. In some aspect, or it could be, again, roles can be reversed. I do feel like there's an inner knowing that it's time to move forward, take a new leap, but I also feel like you're afraid that there's some type of betrayal in taking these steps forward. The only betrayal you're going to have in that self-sabotage is if you don't work through whatever steps from the past that you're trying to side skirt. They will come back up. It's just simply a matter of when, right? So yes, moving forward, taking that leap, getting swept in the emotionality of it, doing it independently, there's a need to heal, but I also don't feel like you're doing that. That, again, that side step, that side piece that is needing to be addressed. And I think it's going to pull you back if you don't address it soon. And then you've got 2 7s there. Okay, Angel of Balance. You got the High Priestess. And here's the thing, extremely smart, Sag, right? You're extremely smart, you're extremely intelligent, you know how to get things done. Father of Wands, there you are in your own reading, how dare you. You know where this needs to go. You know how to balance out the energies, you know how to work well with others. And then the Father of Swords, but I think you may be dealing with somebody that's more of an illogical sense. And I think you may be trying to, Seven of Pentacles underneath there, figuring out the way to continue to build from that point forward. I feel like both parties here, whatever the situation, work, love, family, whatever it might be for you, you're learning how to balance this out, and you know that this is meant to be more than it is at this point. Trying to calm, this emotional pull to get moving and get going. There's an emotional need of balance here as well, and there's a knowing on both sides of this. One, is very fiery, very passionate, very pulling of energy. The other one is trying to be very logical about the decisions that are happening at this time around this energy. I would even say, despite the genders, Father of Swords, Father of Wands here, the High Priestess, to me, there is, both parties are trying to control a situation. They both know, right? So both parties are trying to control a situation, and it's kind of like in your focus of how you're going to work with this moving forward. All right, so what you need to know right now, the thinking man, we've got the Nine of Wands, the Mother of Pentacles. I don't feel like you feel nurtured at this time. You may feel like your relationships with other people or what you're trying to manifest or what you're trying to get to or your wish fulfillment is a difficult path ahead. Like there is this vision, but I feel like you feel like perhaps in the financial world that you're struggling to get to that point. Like I almost feel like you can, it's funny, you can feel from here down, but up here it's like numb. It's like non-existent. I don't know what that means for some of you. That's how it feels. Like you've got this groundedness, but up here everything is very heavy. Don't overthink it. Don't be in your head so much that you're creating problems where there aren't any. Let it take its course, let it run through, let it do what it needs to do for you. And don't hold on so tight. That adage with the bird, like if you hold the bird in your hand softly, gently, it stays. If you squeeze it, it wants to go because there's a fear that it's going to get hurt, right? You don't have to hang on so tight to whatever this is and be up late and driving yourself absolutely bonkers. Nurture. If you're nurturing, and this came out in the Daily Collective, if you're nurturing what it is that you want, what it is that you can put effort into, what is balanced and giving back, it'll work out, but don't overdo it at this time either. Yeah, and when I say holding on, right? There's that Four of Pentacles. Those rubber bands are just keeping everything looped together, holding on to control. You look at this guy's hand, right? What's he doing? He's holding on so tightly to those crystals, to what he's manifesting, what he's working on. He's holding on to control. It's time to let go of control right now. If you let go of control and go with the flow, be in a state of grace of the flow, it's going to serve you better in the long run. So in your obstacle, second chakra, which is the sacral, we've got the Three of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Emotionally walking away from desires and things that make you feel less than fulfilled. You've got the Death card. You may be dealing with a Scorpio. You've got the Hermit underneath there. Pisces. So, on that note, you've got this Three of Cups, the Eight of Cups sitting there. Again, walking away. To me, walking away, I feel like there's a connection. And I'm hearing leaving town, leaving an area, saying goodbye to people that may have, unfortunately, maybe passed away, people that may be moving away, where you're recognizing that point, it's almost like, again, and like I said earlier too, nostalgia, the nostalgia of what was, the emotional desire to our external world, the desires to all of these things. I feel like there may be some shifting in the people around you at this time, people you were with or hanging out with or partnered up with or working with. There may be a split in that energy where that sense of community, that sense of feeling that you once had with those folks, it almost feels like it's slipping away. I don't even feel like it's not worth the emotional investment. I want to say that these people, these situations in your life, they've served their purpose. And you may be having a hard time at this time understanding why those things are changing for you right now. Work through the emotional feeling as these things are shifting, because I do feel like there's a massive transition that's trying to take place for you, but holding on to control was going to stop that from moving forward. So then in the strengths aspect, we've also got the community card, the 10 of Swords. Again, that to me is kind of repetitive to what I just said. You know, the sense of community that you had or whatever. Yeah, the choice to walk away or to stay. I think you may be dealing with certain relationships in your life as well. And you're talking about choices, a higher judgment call there with the Hierophant card, Taurus. And then you've got Gemini here on the table, Aries as well. Ask yourself, you got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius here too. You need to ask yourself if this makes sense. I feel like for some of you, this may be, oddly enough, a choice in love. Like if you're leaving a situation, maybe you're seeing a couple different people, you're making a choice to step away from that and go in one sole direction as well, putting an end to multifaceted situations that aren't serving you, or learning how to make a choice and move forward with a particular person, making a judgment call in that regard. You've learned a lesson. It could be a very hard lesson also in choices as well, learning about those choices. But what concerns me is having this indecision underneath and underlying energy, the overall, that are you returning to those lessons? And that's what I talked about earlier. Like, if you're not doing the healing work, you're going to end up right back to where you were. So if you've renewed something, things haven't been healed, you may find yourself back in a very similar situation. All right, rest and rejuvenation, 4 of Cups. Yeah, protecting yourself. And then the Daughter of Swords. Yeah, three of Wands, waiting for your ships to come in. I feel like you may have made a mistake in some areas of life, like you've had to slow it down, start rebuilding. You know, the Knight of Swords, or the Page of Swords, he doesn't know a lot. He thinks he does, but he doesn't. And I feel like there's going to be something that takes place that may send you into a space of ignoring certain things that you don't want to see, or you may be in a space right now of ignoring things that you don't want to see. And then you've got that indecision sitting there, and behind it, you've got blossoming abundance, because it's going to require you to make a decision to get to this change. Because again, behind that, we've got the yin and the yang energy, right? There's a change that it wants to come in, it wants to balance out, it wants to bring you in this abundance, but this indecision that you're sitting in is creating conflict in the ability to move forward. So, you know, it's really about a decision and finding the strength and the courage to work through a period of time where I feel like you're going to kind of check out. You may get to a certain point and then check out from people around you or situations around you. Not being in a space of willing to give yourself emotionally. Like, I almost feel like you're let down by this emotional push that you've got going on at this time. Don't get caught up in endings. You know, like I said, if there's situations and people that are leaving your life, they've served their purpose. They've given you the seasons of this life that were supposed to be yours. You took the experience with you. Don't be afraid to close that out, to move forward into a new direction. And for some of you, like I said, you got a few little side messages in there too. Take it for what it is, and don't shut yourself down. Because I feel like there's, in the back of your mind, there's a knowing. There really is genuinely a knowing of understanding, and it's asking for you to pay attention to that, to resolve whatever else is going on around you. But I feel like you're either creating distance with somebody, or waiting for them to kind of make a move towards you. And I don't think you're going to get that. If that's what you're waiting for, yeah, 2 of Swords. No, you're not, yeah, it's a period of waiting for them to make a move to come to you. And again, 3 times over, or 4 times over, I've seen this space of indecision, you know, like you don't know what to do about it. So indecision, 7 of Cups, confusion, you know, that's just solidifying that indecision. 6 of Cups, or the 6 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. Understand, Spirit's saying you're going to be happy no matter what, but you've got to learn to let go. When we learn to let go of one's phase of our life, it gives the ample opportunity for another phase of our life to open up. Again, I feel like there are people disconnecting from you, whether it is just in the 3D level, or those that are going over to the spiritual side, if that is the thing. And if so, I'm so sorry. But also know that there's been a point where it doesn't have to be seen one way. And I feel like it's kind of, like I said in the beginning, like boxed into a certain idea or belief. There's a hard realization that there's multiple ways that something could happen, that maybe you didn't see it that way. And either way, no matter what, it's going to be okay. But you have to trust it. You have to let go. You have to transform with the freedom that the universe is trying to give to you. Work with it, not against it, right? Don't sit in a space of resistance at this time. As I dug my white light oracle cards out, and we're going to use one of those to close this out to see what message Spirit wants to give to you. Let's see, for Sagittarius, please, Spirit, for Sag, for the month of November. For Sag. Spirit's saying contrary to popular belief. So whatever that means for you, if this is you being in stubborn energy, so, your consensus is it's this way, contrary to popular belief per Spirit, it doesn't have to be that way. So they're coming in with some smart ass remarks, but Sag, we also know that you can be pretty good for that one yourself, right? So, all right. Having a hard time shuffling these bigger cards. I've got little hands. For Sag, please. I prefer, for those of you who I prefer for them to do that rather than me shuffling or dealing them out. I don't care to do that. Okay. This particular card is number 6. Like I said earlier too, this kind of reminds me of going back to childhood, trying to heal some wounds from the past. I'm going to see if I can pronounce this correctly. I probably won't. Shekinah. Number 6 is Shekinah. What I'm getting from this too is a little bit of that stubborn energy, but that enlightened energy. And I do think that you guys have that higher knowing right now. But it's like, are you willing to pay attention to it? I feel like that some of the battles and things that you've gone through recently have kind of brought you to a space where you're turning away from a lot of things and looking into something else. But again, there is this need to do the work. There's a need to listen. There's a need to tune in and understand the spirals of your life, good or bad. She does feel to me to be at peace with a higher knowing. But I think that the action to that higher knowing is now what needs to follow for you, Sag, in the month of November. So I'm going to read. I usually don't do the book thing, but with these I will. Give you my interpretation from Spirit of that, and then I'll read you the book for comparison. Here you go. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on Spirit as loving, protective, helpful, and practical presence, able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems, like I said here in the 3D, right? Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, that's outside of the box thinking need, right? Apply your higher knowledge and principles and grow your wisdom and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path and let spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. And I do feel like for you guys, you're stepping into a higher knowing, that acknowledgement of moving forward, taking those emotions and letting them push you forward, but needing to do the healing work along the way in that spiritual path. Shekinah is a Hebrew word that translates as the dwelling place of the divine. Shekinah is the embodiment of the light. She is in us when we are living our spiritual path, applying our wisdom and principles so our actions, our courage, our choices awaken compassion in our world. We are the sacred change makers and healers of the collective. The divine electricity of Spirit needs willing soul bulbs to shine forth in the world. In the esoteric Jewish traditions of Kabbalah, Shekinah is the sacred feminine and the capacity for an experience of Spirit entering the soul of human being. When a soul is approaching the sacred space of Shekinah, the ego has given way to some degree. There is enough inner space and heart willingness to surrender and receive it so Spirit can infuse the soul. The soul becomes more luminous with white light. We resonate more with Spirit than with ego. We feel like our true selves. I just looked at the clock. It was 29:29. Breaks down to 11:11. Note. When the soul becomes Shekinah, a holy dwelling place of spirit, our experience is very different to the ego-driven way of living. We slow down and accomplish that which is meaningful. We feel connected to all that is, so we are inspired to do what we can to help according to our tendencies and talents. We co-create rather than compete. We accomplish our aspirations because we are no longer in our heads, but practicing our spiritual path daily. And that was in your, what you need to know right now is to stay out of that headspace, right? Keep this moving and not numb. Our spiritual practices are a life raft when the oceans of life become wild, and our magic carpet when we feel stuck and need inspiration and freedom. Our practices increase our compassion for ourselves and others. When Shekinah is in your reading, you have both permission and encouragement from Spirit to embrace spiritual practices that resonate with your heart and commit to them, especially when you think you don't need them or they don't seem to be doing anything for you. Those are the times you need them the most. To embrace Shekinah is to embrace action, to commit, to engage, to walk our talk, and to be the light we want to see in our world. The ideas that nurture and inspire your heart are important, but the actions that transform hesitation, fear, and doubt into boldness, trust, and confidence are essential to bring those ideas to life. You have within you to live with your light and to put all of your problems and concerns into the capable hands of a deeper guiding wisdom. You are not giving away your power in doing so. You are actually empowering your sacred fulfillment. This oracle brings notice of an opportunity to apply your spiritual principles. You are encouraged to consider how you can live so that your inner beliefs and outer actions are in alignment. This is not about denying the ego and its pains. It is about having compassion and responding from a place of kindness and determination to heal. The oracle suggests a matter of material or physical concern can be touched and healed by spirit. Your task is to invite spirit in and allow it to do what it knows how to do. Find relief in the knowledge that spirit is with you and wants you to heal through all matters of concern. And again, guys, there is a need to heal whatever is going on the outsides that you've turned away from. I feel like as I read that message to you, so much that I said stood out to me through that one particular card. I'm going to show that card to you. It's absolutely beautiful, right? So, Sag, this is it for November. Sorry that it took me to get back to you guys. It's been a hot minute, and I'm so sorry for that. Working on staying on course here now. So if you find that this video resonates, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You're going to get notices every time that the videos get posted for you. And I wish you guys a fantastic November. Hopefully I'll get you another video out here before too long. Take care and many blessings. Bye-bye.